What's really stuck out to me is just how fast everything goes back to normal. I mean, time's just flying by, and I don't know. College just seems like a one kind of big, weird, really weird dream that didn't doesn't seem like it actually happened.
One of the hardest parts about this is still being at the Quack Shack. It hasn't really sunk in that, I can't get back 2 more months with the team. And that loss is, I don't know when that'll start to really feel real for me.
There's so much more to being at Olaf that you really take for granted. And it makes me think about how I would struggle to really commit to being a part of the cross country and track teams at times, and really the Big O at large. I don't always know why I struggled in that aspect, but I am super thankful in hindsight for being welcomed back with open arms every time by basically everyone. The structure and energy that we had and have for the rest of you cannot be replaced, and right now I feel pretty lost. I'm thinking right now that maybe I shouldn't have done other activities at Olaf, and so I could have spent the winter with the Big O, and yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but that's what I'm thinking.
Still, it hurts to not be able to go on runs with guys every day, and even just to ask the simple things like, how's it going, how's our classes, or just, shooting the shit about whatever kind of memes are circulating around the team. That's something I miss a lot, and that's something that makes being a part of the Big O so unique and special.
But some of my favorite memories from the Big O, memories I think I'll never forget, things I'll remember the longest. Some of them are the things that I don't remember at all.
Ironically, some of the memories that I actually don't remember, but that happened nonetheless and live on nonetheless.
I'll never forget is waking up in the hospital and not knowing. I didn't have my contacts in, I didn't have my phone, I didn't have my wallet, I had nothing. Had no idea what had happened. And I go out into the waiting room, thinking that I'm about to walk 1.5 miles back to campus in scrubs from the hospital, and there's Sammy and Tay sitting there waiting for me, and they had been there for, quite some time, just hanging out, being great guys. And there's so many memories like that where you just people go out of their way on this team to just be good to you. And, I was a stupid freshman who made a mess of himself. I was acting like a complete fool. And here these two guys are, putting that aside and just making sure that I'm okay and doing what they could to make me feel okay about it. And that's something that I'll definitely never forget.
One of the things we were talking about this year was, when do the new guys feel like they're really a part of the team? And for me, that was the morning after I had puked everywhere and tried to eat an entire bottle of vitamin C, and showing up to the team table thinking shit, I made a fool out of myself. But instead of getting weird looks, I got basically applause from the team. And that's when you realize, oh shit, these guys are gonna love you no matter what you do. And that's when you really feel welcomed and at home, and gives you the freedom to act kind of stupid. And that's something that, is unique to being here and having a group like this where you're supported no matter what dumb shit you might do.
For me, I don't know if there is a single favorite memory, but I think what I will remember the longest is the feelings that you get coming down to the locker room after an awful day and switching those gears and just to move on a little bit. I think just coming back to the random shit that happens, like the Felch ball getting tossed around, or Phil coming up to you and asking if your taint is clenched in anticipation for the Great Carhu Shoe Race, or coming to the high jump pit before practice and become a beached whale and try to get a little less pale. Sorry, Pete. Having just a little more soap in the shower, getting some lovely schmoes at dinner.
Trips to nationals with guys on the car ride there. It's hard to believe that 2 15-hour back-to-back car rides for a 30-minute cross-country race can turn into some of your favorite memories in college, but that definitely was the case for me. Especially this most recent one. I was driving to Louisville with Trips and Ben Scott, Alden and Mike Finn, and we just had a blast. I mean, I don't think we turned the radio on or listened to music for the entire car ride. We would yell things like we were hillbillies. We'd created random jingles that we sang over and over and over and over again. We even had an hour in there where we named random birds for like an hour straight. And that trip, I realized that I definitely don't know that many birds, but Trips knows a lot of birds.
Being complete idiots, probably. Me, Crete, Ben, and Trips probably drove Shrek half crazy. He had an ear infection, and we were just memeing nonstop for all 11 hours or whatever it was. So that was just great. And then meeting up with everyone and seeing all the varsity guys lay it all out there in the course and really just give it, everything they had was super special. And I'll treasure that moment for a while for sure.
I think I've said it before, but strides before the 2018 national cross country meet were, man, those just stick out like nothing else for me, because it's really defined for me like what it meant to be part of the Big O. Like it meant, because I was out there about ready to grind in a running the national championships. So I mean, the Big O is about running, number one, but then the fact that I could hear Yaya being sung, by like 30 other guys on the team also reminded me, that Big O is about family. It's about a team. And the fact that guys are willing to drive, 10 hours round trip just to be there and, support you. I mean, it's something special.
Going to meets and being able to watch guys PR and some guys who had never broken 5 minutes before, watching them break 5 minutes, other guys scoring at conference, that kind of thing. I think that was really rewarding for me to see, because as their teammate, you see them develop behind the scenes at practice, and a lot of guys in the team have had injury trouble, and just seeing those guys come back from injury and being able to perform, and seeing the smile on their face after competing, I think that's been the most rewarding thing for me, is just seeing guys, regardless of ability, improve upon themselves. It gets personal bests, or even just getting out there to compete. Those memories have been really valuable as well.
Lately, I've been thinking about how remarkable it is that you can always find someone on the Big O who's down to come with you on whatever adventure that you're going on, whether that be going to the beach in San Diego and digging a giant crater in the sand and then just sitting in it while everybody stares, or going out on a cold February night and making a massive snow wheel and just wheeling it down the hill by Thorson, or I think I'm going to miss that a lot.
As for things that I miss, I didn't realize this until I was home, but the team essentially was and is like some sort of Netflix or streaming service, except for conversations. If I wanted to talk about like nature or science or something serious or like career stuff, I could talk to Trips or Elliot just right there in the pod. If I wanted to talk about sports or music, I could talk to Nobs, Herman, Mowgli, or Zaggy. I mean, if I wanted to talk classical, I could talk to Henrik, I guess. If I wanted to speak gibberish and lose IQ points, I could talk to myself, or Crispy, Ben, or Crete. And just like real Netflix, if I wanted to talk about anime, I could talk to the sophomores, but I never wanted to, just like real Netflix. So I don't know, the range of personalities, interests, and conversation styles was something about the team that I didn't realize that I would miss, and I did miss that quite a bit.
Just the thing that you miss, the thing that you lose, is that day-to-day aspect of having 40 of your best friends to eat meals with, and to train with, and to get obliterated with, waste time with. And there will be times when our class and other classes are all together again, but it's the day-to-day aspect, the fact that literally any time of any day of any week you can have 40 guys to chill with. That's what you lose, and that's one of the things that I'm going to miss.
I should have done more dumb shit and hung out with people more. I took academics way too seriously, and while it paid off in the end, I also kind of made myself miserable. I was constantly stressed about homework, tests, grades, etc., and I would stay in and work on Friday and Saturday nights instead of hanging out with people. Now that I'm basically out of college, I'm realizing how I should have taken advantage of that. You're pretty much by yourself now, and I wish I would have taken advantage of hanging out with people more while I was there. and now that's basically gone forever, I'm realizing what I missed.
It's probably positive to come out of this whole experience recognizing all the little things, that you probably don't really notice day to day. And, you start to notice them at the end of your senior year. You start to think, shit, we only got a couple of these left. But, then when you get it all taken away, you really have some time to reflect on, like the walks up to dinner that you'll miss, or moving to Porter is a fucking pain in the ass. But man, is it. I wouldn't do anything to fucking get that back. Or standing in the fucking Porter shower bath, They're just things that you don't often think about that maybe we should take more time to think about.
I'm going to miss the camaraderie, the connections you share with these people on the team who are so different. I think that's one of the beautiful things about the team, is that everyone brings something unique. I don't think you'll ever be around a group of people who are so different, who all bring so many different perspectives, but actually get along. I don't know, in my experiences off the team, I've found that something like that's very rare.
I guess the only advice I have is that you shouldn't take things for granted. I thought that we would have a senior week to really say goodbye to everyone, but with everything that happened, we didn't have that. So don't think that there will be a later time to hang out with or catch up with people, because that might never come. Make time for these kinds of people, because you might not have any time later on.
A lot of my advice comes from some of my regrets, and that is, one of my regrets is that I think I took my time for granted, how much I enjoyed it, how thankful I was to have those experiences and share those experiences with other people on the team. And having it all taken away so quickly, that sudden end, it's made me wish that I was more expressive of my appreciation for that time with my friends, with my teammates.
Never underestimate the influence or the impact that you have on younger guys on the team. If you're anything like me, it's easy to idolize and look up to guys that are older than you because, obviously they have more experience on the team, they've been around the block, they know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, whenever a class graduates, whenever you lose a class, obviously, it's easy to dwell on that and be upset about it. And I mean, by all means, it's okay to do that. But I think at the end of the day, just recognize that, it's up to you to fill that spot. And, you might get to senior year and think, well, I still feel like a freshman. And that's certainly how I felt. That's how I'm sure a lot of guys in my class feel. But that's just kind of the way that it goes. And I promise you that the younger guys, no matter how much you feel like a freshman, they're not going to look at you that way.
I never know how to express myself super well, and I hope that's clear now. But I do want to impress upon you guys how much less fun I will have next year. In the years to come, I don't think I'll ever have as much fun again as being a part of the Big O. I hope you've always realized how special the time is you have here, and that's probably about as much as reflection as you can get from me. But I will see you at alumni, that's a promise.
An hour more of sleep probably won't change your life, but an hour more spent talking with some of the best friends that you'll ever meet, it might change your life. And then growing up is for squares. It's a trap. Don't do it.
And I'm gonna get back to racing as soon as possible. And even if I'm not literally racing for the college, I will be racing for the team.
I know that all of you guys have the ability and the heart to continue to grow as runners and do great things in the future, so I'll be following the team, and I'll stop by when I can. I don't know how much of that will be in my control, but we'll see what happens.
Chop wood, carry water, be compassionate, and don't take yourself too seriously.
Chop wood, carry water. You got full heads of hair with your futures in front of you. Call your mothers, wash your hands frequently. You know the drill.